Welcome everyone to Debbie's book launch. I'm so glad that you're all here tonight. And I just wanted to say, whether you've known Debbie for years or this is your first time meeting her, this is such a special place to be because a book launch is never just about the book. It's about the experiences, the courage, and the truth behind it. So, first, because I'm not sure who everyone is. If everyone could drop in the chat your name and where you're from, to see who's here. And I do want to welcome, I see we have Helene, Charmaine, Marcia, Danielle. I know you're going to be talking later. Hello, Mom. And we have Susan and Ishi and Sam. Oh, thank you guys for putting that in there in our chat. And as you introduce yourself and tell us where you're from, if you could drop one word that describes how you have been feeling lately. All right. Thank you, guys. We have Toronto in the room, Nicaragua. All right, Danielle. And we're feeling fantastic.
That's very far.
Yes,
I think
it
that's
is.
all the way on the other side of the world. Or
Get surprised
something.
being the farthest away.
What time is it there? And where is it?
I don't know. I think she's asking you, Danielle.
Yeah, it's 3:30 p.m. Central America. It's actually just like really close. You could take a direct flight to Houston. Not so far.
Okay, yeah, that's only 2 hours different from Eastern Standard. So very nice. And I know we do have people joining from lots of different time zones. So happy to have everyone here.
Wow, Arizona.
My name is Debra Blosnich, and Debbie has so graciously asked me to help run this show tonight. And I love to see that people are feeling excited to be here. And so, as you all know, tonight's theme is growing from the roots up, the hidden cost of success for high achieving women. And this is something that quietly touches so many people, right? Because from the outside, success can look like everything is working. How many of us can relate? We're making it all look good, right? But sometimes on the inside, and it's a lot of times, there can be pressure, expectations, and parts of ourselves we've had to push down just to keep going. And what I appreciate most about Debbie is that she doesn't just talk about success. She's willing to go deeper and talk about what it costs and what it actually takes to grow in a way that feels whole. And that is kind of what I got out of this. Before I bring Debbie on, I'm just curious if you will drop a yes in the chat if you have ever felt like you were holding it all together on the outside while something deeper needed attention. Let's see if we relate. Yep, here we go. All the yeses coming in. So, like I said, I've had the opportunity to know Debbie for the last couple of years. We've done a lot of growth and a lot of work together. And because she's willing to have these deep, honest conversations that most people avoid, that impresses me. And so she's not here to impress you. She's here to tell the truth and to invite you into your own truth. So whether you're here out of curiosity, support, or because this topic speaks directly to you, I invite you to just be present, take in what resonates, and allow yourself to connect with whatever comes up. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce Debbie Saidyfye.
Thank you so much, Debra. Oh my gosh, I want to welcome everybody. Welcome to this really special day for me. And I think as I watched people coming in, so thank you, Helene, and my mom is here. I mean, This is my mom dancing around, and it just gives me so much pleasure. And I am so proud of my mom for she is such a role model for me. How could you have a better role model? But welcome Danielle and Marcia and Ishi and Susan and Angela and Charmaine and Allison and Emma and Samantha and Patricia, and coming in is Pat. Oh my gosh. And everybody here really is people that touched my life in different ways. And I am so proud to be here with you. And it's funny, Debra and I didn't talk about this, but my starting was, have you ever felt like you're holding it all together on the outside, but falling apart on the inside? And I know many people have felt that. And that's the way that I felt for many years of my life. But I knew that I was strong, I was capable, but yet I was feeling lost inside. And 13 years ago, I went to a business conference and we were learning all sorts of stuff on business. The keynote speaker came up, and it happened to be John Gray, who wrote the book, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. And I thought, oh my gosh, it sounded like such a hokey, I never read the book, and this was after the book, but this sounds like such a gimmicky thing. I always had dismissed it. And so I was sitting in the audience already a little bit having some judgment on this book. And then he started talking about sugar and what sugar does to our body. And as he spoke, and he told us about the different ups and downs of the hormones and the emotions, and how sugar makes you feel like you want more. And the more you eat, the more you want. And you get into this vicious cycle. And it's like, he is talking to me. How did he know this is me? Oh my God. And so I left that talk realizing I needed to do something about the fact that I was addicted to sugar. And some of you already know this, but actually we just had birthday cake and I'm like, no thanks, I'm not into it. But I used to be the person that wanted the corner piece with the flour and the most icing on the cake. That was my idea of eating birthday cake. And I could eat probably the whole cake. No joke. And so John Gray changed my life because he doesn't know this. Well, I actually reached out to him recently, but 13 years ago, I sat in an audience, listened to John Gray tell me, repeat my whole life back to me, and made me realize I needed to change. I needed to do something different. And so for me today, the reason I wrote this book, and the reason that I'm doing speaking, and the reason I'm doing coaching, is because if I can help one woman, one person, to realize and see the difference and make the changes in their life, then I have done my job. And that's what it's all about. So when I wrote my book, Growing from the Roots Up, I didn't expect it to have as much about me, but it was a personal reflection of me and who I was and how I was running on these patterns of stress and not even knowing it, because I was numb to it all. I didn't even feel my body. I was just going through life on strong and capable. I'm going to work those so many hours. And I see Pat here, and Pat and I used to work like, she worked more hours than I did ever. And she was like my beacon. Oh, if I could only work as many hours as Pat, I might be there. And now I know maybe that wasn't such a good thing. And so if we can reach women and realize that so many men and women, and I speak specifically to women, but men, there's no difference. Men and women are so much stress out there. I think that there isn't anybody that hasn't gone through stress. And just our life today with the corporate world and, all the things that are going on is so stressful. And I saw it a lot in my corporate job of people who were getting really stressed out and would burn out. And so if I can help one person, then that's what I would like to do. And I got to say, the answer is actually really simple, but it's not necessarily easy. And I call this growing from the roots up because I really liken our body to a tree. The roots that are underground, if we nourish those roots, then our trunk, which is our stability, can be strong, and those leaves up top can flourish. But when we think about the leaves first, which is what happens in a lot of cases, we look at what we can see. We're missing those roots that are really the part that's giving us the strength underneath. And so if we can nourish our roots, we can notice and name ourself. Somebody said it today, and I loved it, is it's all about how do we mother ourselves? Instead of always mothering everybody else, say, how can I help you today? What do you need today to our own body? That is going to help us a lot. Something so simple as just saying, how can I mother my own body today? And if we can nurture safety, and for me, safety is a number of different things, but one that I love is safety is about being in community. And being here with everybody today means so much to me in terms of community. And we were meant to be in community. If we weren't in community, this is how we as a human species have survived, is through community. So if you had to be out there in the jungle or in the forest by yourself, you need to find your own food. You need to make sure you find your shelter. At night, you got to watch for predators. And the day you have to watch for predators, when are you ever going to sleep? But if we work together, and this is what humans have done for our survival, is work together. We can have somebody watching for the predators at night. We can have somebody making sure we get nourished properly and not the big food companies, just getting real food. And we can make sure that we're safe as a community. And one of the things that happens when we get stressed out and our nervous system is dysregulated, I hate to say that, is we want to be hyper independent. And we're missing that community. And I know that is tough to reach out to community. When I launched my book, I had community there. Susan, thank you, Susan, was promoting for me more than I was promoting for myself, because I was feeling like, oh my God, how do I put myself out there? So just having that community and having people that are here to support us, to support me, means so much to myself. And when we do these things, that's how we grow from the roots up. And at the end, I've started a movement called the Freedom Thriver, because when we grow from the roots up, we can thrive and have the freedom to do whatever we want, whether it's playing with our grandchildren or going out and playing pickleball or organizing events or doing whatever we want. If we grow from the roots up, we have that opportunity. And so I am going to read something from my book. It's in chapter 5. And I'm really proud. My mom picked this out and she did a good job. She picked a really good one. This chapter is called The Cost of Staying Functional. For my 60th birthday, my children surprised me with a trip to Portugal. It was beautiful, meaningful, thoughtful. They had planned it, saved for it, and organized every detail. They wanted to give me a week of just being their mom. Not a worker, not a problem solver, not the woman with the laptop open at the dining table, just their mom. I brought my computer. Of course, I always did. Every night while everyone else relaxed, I sat in the living room working. There was a client issue that only I could resolve. It was a customized solution for a client that I had never had time to hand off to someone else. And there was a simple change that the client insisted be done by Friday. We were coming home that weekend, but that wasn't good enough. So I stepped in, I stepped up, and I saved the day at the cost of my presence. In over 35 years of work, I can count on one hand the number of vacations that I truly disconnected. Maybe 2, that's it. And even when I didn't work on vacation, I paid for it when I came back with the backlog, the emails, the pressure to catch up. Rest felt temporary, something to endure before the real work resumed. Have you ever gone on vacation and felt the vacation was a distant memory only 1 or 2 days after you get back? Yep. That trip to Portugal is one of my biggest regrets, not because of the work I did, because of the gift I couldn't receive. This chapter isn't about how tired you are. You know you're tired. We've established that. This chapter is about the tiredness that has cost you, not in energy, but in life. The cost of staying functional is subtle at first. You lose curiosity, you lose desire, you lose spontaneity. You stop asking yourself what you want because it feels irrelevant or dangerous. You stop noticing your own needs because you've learned that they come last. You tell yourself that you'll get back to yourself later, after the kids are older, after work settles, after things calm down, later. But things never calm down. Later never comes. And one day the cost becomes impossible to ignore. You realize you've built a life that works, but it doesn't feel like yours. I was married to my work. It gave me identity, structure, a place where my competence was visible and rewarded. It gave me a sense of worth that I didn't know I was depending on. I felt proud of how hard I worked, how much I could handle, how much I could carry. I didn't realize that I was sleepwalking through my own life. I didn't do anything for fun. I didn't ask myself what I wanted. I didn't notice the absence of joy. My days were full. My calendar was full. My life looked full, but inside something was quietly thinning out. I'd been polishing the leaves while my roots were dying. I took work so personally. It wasn't just a job to me. It felt like everything rested on my shoulders. If something went wrong, it felt like a personal failure, not a system issue, not shared responsibility, a personal failure. And letting someone down felt unbearable. So of course, I brought my computer on vacation. Of course, I worked at night. Of course, I stayed available. My nervous system was in a constant state of this matters more than you do. Being on became my identity. Responsibility became my worth. And rest felt like a luxury I hadn't earned. And this means a lot to me because when I think about this paragraph, I want to say something. And I said to my mom, I cried with her this afternoon, and I'll probably cry now. But I think the biggest thing that I think about is what my kids didn't have and how I couldn't be present always for my kids because work came first. And I know my kids are everything to me. And I think that they know that. But what they don't know is that I didn't show it because, of course, I would do what I could for my kids. But I also was so absorbed in my work. And I think that's the biggest thing that when I read That's Why I get so emotional, because I really wasn't there the way I should have been for my kids. And I'm going to stop there and turn it back to you, Deb. Oh no, no. I'm not turning it back to Deb. So we didn't rehearse this. Well, Deb and I sort of did, but Danielle, I'm going to turn it over to Danielle. And so right now I want to introduce you to Danielle Arsenault. She is the founder of Pacha Vega and an internationally recognized educator in plant-based wellness and holistic healing. And her own path was shaped by profound personal trauma, experiences that unraveled everything she knew and invited her to rebuild them from the inside out. Through raw food, breath, movement, and presence, she found her way back to vitality, and from this place, she began to lead. And when I was in Canmore, I gotta say a number of years ago, and they had just opened a rec center, and my parents wanted to take me and show me this brand new rec center, and I picked up the kind of the weekly pamphlet that they had, and at the back was this ad for a raw food chef course in Canmore. And I thought, oh, because I was now plant based, this sounds interesting. I'd like to take it. And so I got on Danielle's email list. And every time she had it, it was either the wrong time or it was the wrong place or whatever. And so in 2019, I decided I'm going to go to Nicaragua. I'm going to do this. I don't care. And I signed up to go to Nicaragua in November of 2020. And so that didn't happen, but I ended up being a student of hers and going through her raw chef certification program, doing it online. I learned so much from Danielle, not only about food and how food impacts us, the nutrition and just the properties of food. I learned a lot from her, and she was the person that really inspired me to actually do something and start a business and start showing my voice that food is medicine. And now I've grown it even further to not only food is medicine, but our nervous system is the ground that puts that foundation of food together. And so I'm going to just pass it over to Danielle.
Hi. Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet. Yeah, life is pretty wild, isn't it? We try so hard to do our best, but we cannot avoid the things that happen to us, and sometimes what presents itself. And yeah, it's about finding balance and about being very honest with our experience of life. And so, yeah, I commend you and this beautiful, honest take of, how life unfolded for you. And I won't say like a warning, but it's a reminder, to me as well, as I have a 6-year-old daughter, how important presence really is. And at the end of the day, what is the priority? Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely love the analogy, the metaphor of the tree. Yeah, we can use that and it can spread throughout all of life's circumstances, and how we need to really solidify that foundation first. And as you've been working, Debbie, and the nervous system, that really is part of the foundation that will make or break us really at the end of the day. And food becomes that foundation that can help our nervous system settle or hyperactivate. And yeah, how do we recognize the patterns that are not serving us before they bring us to the ground? And how can we pause before we react to life and learn to respond? How can we examine the different pillars of what really sustainable nourishment looks like? Not just the food, but how we sleep, how we spend time, with whether or not we're present with the people. And just this little introduction that you share with us and the little excerpt from the book, like already I know that I could do better. I could even do better, even though I'm also on the end of teaching this kind of stuff. But that's the thing, we can always no matter where we are on our path, whether we've been practicing this for years or whether we're just beginning, the idea of awareness is a forefront in the thought. And when we're aware of how we're showing up, then we're able to take a little bit more time to take breaks to respond. And then we can see how our actions are affecting others and how, our presence or lack thereof is showing up in our lives and how it's affecting the people around us, not just our children, but our friends, our relationships, especially now with social media and honestly, people being a little bit more socially awkward because people have become very accustomed to being on their phones in public and such. And so, yeah, sitting with this, the idea of becoming more present is a really great practice. And I love all of the wisdom that you're sharing in your book. I didn't get through the whole thing. Oh, I tried so hard.
Okay.
Debbie shared the book with me earlier, and yeah, I think it's so important to have this awareness and to remind ourselves that within it all, what we choose to make our priorities will eventually shape our life. And I think the last thing that we all want to do is reach an end of a life and have regrets. I wish I would have been there. I wish I would have put the phone down. I wish I would have put the computer away. I wish I would have should have said no. I wish I would have put my life, my family first. And that actually those clients or those people, they didn't care really. And so some things that I'm exploring as well with my private clients these days is through the different programs that I'm teaching, through the raw food chef certification course, but also the holistic healing code, is this idea of awareness and yeah, and then the pause before the reaction, the pause before the movement, and constant reflection on life. Constant reflections, kind of constant zooming out of life and checking in with ourselves on a regular basis. Hey, how's it going with me? Really, like looking deep inside, looking inside the heart, trying to keep the mind and the body connected versus disconnected, which a lot of us do, right? We're often very often in the thoughts and the mind and the logic and the solving and and when do we come back to just feeling, right? So taking actual time to feel, which means not thinking and making that a priority, right? So I think it's rearranging our priorities. It's asking at what cost, and both, we can be overactive and over high achievers and constantly on the go at what cost, or we can be waiting and stuck and not moving and at what cost, going through life and nothing, you get to the end of life and I wish I would have written that book, I wish I would have started that business, I wish I would have quit my job, or vice versa, I wish I would have slowed down a little bit more. And so, yeah, a little bit of what I have to say. And I'm really proud of you, Debbie. And I've seen the growth. I've seen your growth. I've seen your full on commitment to going for it. And that commitment coming from the inside of you, it ripples out. It ripples outwards. It shows the confidence that when you stick with something, when you persevere, when you are putting consistency first, that the inevitable result and achievement happens. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Yay! You did it.
So much.
It's amazing.
I did it. Yeah.
Yay.
Fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Danielle. All right. So everyone, we wanted to do something a little bit fun tonight. Debbie, I guess you're going to try to take a screenshot. If you have the book, and I'll give you 30 seconds to go get it. If you have your book, we were going to try to do like a group photo. If you have it, she's going to take a screenshot.
So if you can put your cameras on, even just
So
for a
yeah,
second, put the anybody who has the book. Oh no, how am I supposed to do this? Ah! Oh,
yeah, we
yay, we
didn't think
can do
about
it.
that.
Oh, I'm gonna just take a whole screenshot. I know how I can do it.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I got it in front of me.
Can you do it easy?
All right.
There you go.
Everybody smile. Do another one. Yay, thank you so much. And I'll put the link in it. This is the Canadian version. I'm putting in Amazon. Maybe I could try putting the US version in case you haven't bought it and you're thinking about getting it. I just ordered 10 copies for my family in Edmonton.
I cannot
So
say
excited.
how much I love this book, and Debbie already knows. I have a couple of women that I meet with. I'm like, I bought them a copy as gifts, and I'm actually going to suggest it to my principal. She loves to give women and teachers great books to read, and I'm like, she needs to put this on her book list for the staff.
Oh,
So I'm going to see how successful I am with it. But that's how much I loved it. And like, we all do this work that I was like, wow, Debbie, you just said it so well. So I'm excited. So if you do get the book, or you do have the book, and after this event, if you would send Debbie a photo of you holding your book, she said to send it in DM or however, just get a hold of Debbie and send her your photo. She will send you a free bonus gift. And Debbie, you'll have to tell them what that is if you would like, or it's going to be a surprise bonus gift. But it's worth it. You're going to love it. I promise.
It's a nervous system audio series.
Okay. All right. So
All
I
right.
think that's pretty much it. We did want to open the floor for just a couple minutes in case anybody had any questions for Debbie or Danielle, or if you've already read the book and you had an aha or something that stood out to you that you'd like to share. We'll just take a couple minutes for shares. And if not, that's okay too. Anybody?
I would like to share one more thing.
Go ahead, Danielle.
Just about myself practicing this stuff myself, right? So I can say it, we can say it, but also to practice it. And as I practice, meaning practicing the presence, practicing the pausing, taking time to be there for my daughter, practicing it and feeling the result and knowing about it versus just talking about it. Yeah. And so even though I'm an expert, I still have to do the work because it doesn't just come automatically. It's work and it's worth it.
Oh, thank you. That's absolutely beautiful. And yes, that is the absolute truth, right? It's not like somebody ever reaches a point where they're like, that's it. I don't have anything else to learn. I'm perfect. So well said. It's just we come at it from another level, right? So awesome. All right, guys. If there are no other questions, I just want to personally thank everyone for being here tonight. I know you can hear it in Debbie's voice. It's hard for me not to get emotional too, because I know all the love, effort, and hard work that went into this. And you can feel Debbie's heart when you read the book. And I think it is absolutely a message that so many more women and men need to receive. So I'm hoping it spreads far and wide. I'm going to do my part. But again, thank you. I hope that you enjoyed our time together. I hope you gained some useful tips and insights. And as we exit, remember to tend to your roots if you want to flourish.
I love it. See how the roots work? And I'm going to play my song that I made, which is really about we come home to our roots. It's a 3 or 4 minute song you can listen to. But thank you so much.
so
This is the final version.
We were taught to hold it all, stand up strong and never fall. Keep on going, don't feel a thing. Carry the weight of everything. But underneath our roots run dry. We kept reaching, asking why. How can we grow? How can we rise when we've been cut off deep inside? There's nothing wrong with who we are.
Congratulations, Debbie. Excellent. You are such a good mentor.
We rise home and we nourish what's below. We come home. We come home. From the roots we rise and grow. No more proving we are enough. No more living disconnected. We were always meant to thrive. We just needed to be rooted. Through the body we remember. Through the breath we come alive. When our roots are held in safety, that's when we begin to rise. We don't have to force the change. When the roots are fed, the tree will grow. We come home back to the roots we've always known. We slow down, we feel, we grow. We were never meant to do this alone. We rise up, we rise home, and we nourish down below. We come home, we come home. From the roots we rise and grow. Strong roots, steady ground. This is where our truth is found. No more pushing, no more fight. We grow in rhythm, not in spite. Deep roots, open sky. Now we love, now we rise. What was buried comes to life. We are done just getting by. We come home back to the roots we've always known. We stand tall, but not alone. Now we grow in a rhythm our own. We rise up, we rise home. From the roots we build and grow. We come home. Together we rise and grow.
Yay. Thank you so much, everyone. This
Beautiful.
means so much for you to join me today. And that's the end of our program. Thank you, Deborah, for
Keep
being
it going.
amazing host and MC. Thank
My
you,
absolute
everyone. So
pleasure.
much love to everyone. You can't believe it.
Thanks. This was great, you guys.
Thank you.
We will see you in August.
Yes.
See you in August.
Thank